Welcome to the Workamper Show, brought to you by Workamper.com. This podcast helps you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. Each one of our episodes will introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to work camping opportunities all around the U.S. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
For this week's show, we're going to dive into a topic uniquely suited for Christmas, and that is unity. The goal is to inspire more people to engage in work camping and outdoor recreation regardless of their backgrounds. Today's episode is sponsored by Workamper News. Wouldn't it be nice if work camping job listings for your ideal location just appeared in your email inbox? They can when you're a Workamper News member. Join Workamper News today to start using the best toolkit for finding your next work camping gig. When they turn on job alert emails, members can select to receive help wanted ads for just one state or all the states they want to be in. Each email contains the full ad text, so there's no need to have to click a link, go to a website, and then hunt around for the ad just to see if the job even interests you. The job finding process is easier with Workamper News, so join today at www.workamper.com. Today I'm joined by Earl B. Hunter Jr., the founder and president of the Unity Folks. It is an award-winning company focused on helping the outdoor and RV industries to invite and welcome people from all backgrounds. Earl spent decades as a business executive, including time as one of the few black executives in the RV industry, where he helped to grow a company from under $1 million to nearly $20 million in revenue. That experience shaped how he approaches diversity, workforce development, and long-term sustainability in outdoor recreation. Through the Unity Folks, Earl works with campgrounds, state and national parks, manufacturers, and retailers to help them better understand why many people, especially those from underrepresented communities, have historically felt disconnected from the outdoors. In this conversation, we talk about generational barriers, the importance of education and empathy, and why campgrounds play a critical role in shaping outdoor culture. We also explore how work campers can serve as ambassadors for unity simply by the way they welcome and interact with guests. To tell us more about his vision for his company, as well as the RV and outdoor recreation industries, please welcome Earl B. Hunter Jr., the founder of the Unity Folks, to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Earl. I really appreciate the time. For our listeners who are not familiar with your work, what is Unity Folks, and how does it build on the work of Black Folks Camp 2, which you founded many years ago?
First of all, my name is Earl B. Hunter Jr. I'm the founder and president of the Unity Folks. Our company was previously named Black Folks Camp 2, but what we decided to do is, as a company, and to be more well-rounded, and also to put unity in our name, because we focused on more unity in the outdoor community and beyond, we wanted to make sure that folks knew us as the Unity Folks. We're an award-winning company. We won an award every year that we've been in existence for the last 7 years. Our company is very sincere. We're very meaningful. Our projects are very measurable, and so that they are sustainable. We're a very data-driven company. We're not a club. We're not a group. We are a company, and we're very good at what we do in regards to helping the industry understand how to invite and welcome non-traditional buyers, non-consumers, visitors, and also emerging demographics. And our company is very good at that. We are very data-driven, and we understand the complexity and the perplexity of how to do this work in and out of the outdoor industry. So that's exactly who we are. We are, again, our team is fantastic, and we do good work.
How do you explain your mission to people who might never thought about the need for diversity or inclusion in outdoor recreation?
Yeah, somewhere down the line, the word diversity and inclusion became dirty words. And I'm not sure why that became such dirty words, because everybody wants to be included. And diversity is just, it matters not only just with skin color, but it matters with people in their mind and what they think. And it matters. Most companies who do very well, they do well because they have a diverse crop of folk who really understand differences in where they came from, different colleges, how they were raised, and things of that nature. So the word diversity and inclusion, I don't know where it became a dirty word, but for us, it means that we want to help the outdoor industry, the $1.3 trillion industry, be more diverse because we think it'll be better. We believe that if we help the outdoor industry understand what that means to invite and welcome more folks of different backgrounds, more folks of different race, age, genders, and ability, we believe the outdoor industry will be so much better. And so what that means for us and what it means for everyone is that we then will show folks how amazing public lands are. We'll show folks how to be stewards of public lands. And then we'll have more folks that even want to care for public lands. That's on one side. On the private sector, there's an amazing opportunity for the outdoor industry to grow. And when the industry grows, when the industry understands that it has to get more folks of different race, age, genders, and abilities inside of this circle, then it will grow exponentially. If it does not do that, if it does not learn to invite and welcome different demographics, the industry itself will fail, mainly because there's no business in the world, particularly in America, though, has succeeded without being diverse and basically getting everybody's time, everybody's effort, and everybody's money. Period.
That's right. There is no unity, or unity is part of the word community. So I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't do it. And I like the idea that you're getting people out into public lands, because that's when you fall in love with the public lands and being outdoors, where you want to support it, where you don't have any problem in making those investments.
Absolutely. We take an untraditional approach to inviting and welcoming folks to the outdoors. Like, we're not a group. We're not a club. We're not going out taking people in the outdoors. We're not calling up folks. They're not wanting to go in the outdoors with us. We as the company, we did that. We spent millions of dollars really on data to understand why some of the programs that are out there have been going for the last 30, 40 years have not been effective. And we decided to say, hey, listen, we think the greatest way to get more folks in the outdoors is to educate folks on why folks have not been in the outdoors. And once we educate the industry on why folks have not been in the outdoors, particularly Black folks, why we hadn't been in the outdoors, then the industry can be much more rounded in how it actually invite and welcome these folks, not only into the lifestyle, but also into the industry. So we, as a company, based on the data that we have actually described and data that we actually have, is that we think the greatest way to get more folks to enjoy public lands, to enjoy the private lands, or enjoy the outdoor industry and lifestyle is for everybody to take everybody. It doesn't matter your race, your age, your gender, your ability. And we call that the Unity Blaze way. We believe when folks meet other folks, understand why they haven't been there. We believe when folks earn those folks' trust. We believe that when folks and families are able to take each other out and explore the outdoors and perhaps get around the campfire and start having some conversation, we believe they're going to find out they have more same than differences, which is the part we believe that unity now starts to take place in the very place that we all can call ours, which is the outdoors.
In your video on YouTube called We Are Here, you talk about how important it is to get people out from all walks of life, from the good times folks to the Huxtables. And
right on.
Yes.
Right on.
Okay. What did those kind of experiences teach you?
As a youngster growing up in the South, and as a matter of fact, I live in one of the most beautiful areas in the world right now. We have 250 waterfalls in a 2-mile radius. We have 400 trails all around. And one of the things I know about the outdoors is how it's given me a lot of peace at the age that I am now, which I would consider to be in Gen X, right? I've received a lot of peace. A lot of my mind is clear. But as a child, I never went in the outdoors. It was something that I did. I didn't hike. I didn't camp. I didn't backpack. My family didn't do that. Folks that didn't look like me as a Black male, we didn't go in the outdoors. There's something that we didn't do. It's something that our parents didn't really teach us. And the majority of folks that look like me, particularly Black folks in America, had not experienced the outdoors, public lands, and things of that nature. And those generational fears and that lack of knowledge and that lack of invitation kept a lot of folks from exploring and loving the outdoors. And so what we believe is that because of those fears, because of that lack of knowledge, because of that lack of invitation, because of laws, until 1964, many state and national parks are segregated until 64. And so what we believe in as a company, if we can explain and encourage and help people understand why some of the most athletic people in the world, why they haven't been in the outdoors and enjoyed the outdoors, why they haven't been trail running, why they haven't really taken part in the industry, why they don't spend their money in the industry, why they don't look this industry for jobs and careers. We believe then, when we're sharing the why with everyone, we believe now that folks would gather around and say, listen, this is not an issue. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to make the outdoor industry, the outdoor lifestyle, and everything better. But we have to start at the toenail of the elephant. It can't just be a kumbaya approach. This has to be done in a way that's very sincere, very meaningful. We have to be able to measure the progress so that it be sustainable. Otherwise, we will be in situations like we're in right now, where our industry is not seeing a lot of growth in regards to different demographics. We saw that growth during COVID. Everybody was going in the outdoors because nobody had anywhere else to go. But now that COVID is over, we're seeing numbers not be as great as they were in regards to the consumer, whether it be in participation or in regards to buying power, because there is a gap or a misstep or a misconception or space where our industry and current lifestyles are not connecting the dots. And we're here to connect the dots with one of my favorite words, which is UNITY, which is unity. And so I'm excited about that.
What are some of the reasons that the outdoor industry may not understand regarding the low participation about Blacks in the outdoor recreation industry? And
the bottom line is that I've keynoted around this country 259 times in the last 4 to 5 years. And every time I go into a space, I ask the question on why you feel like you haven't seen a lot of Black folks in this space. And we get the same answers all the time. The biggest answers are they don't have the income, the outdoor industry is expensive, the lifestyle is expensive, or they live in the inner city, or they don't have access. We have data to debunk a lot of that, right? We have data to say that folks do have access at this time, at this moment, particularly in 2025. We have state parks all around, and most state parks are within 3 to 5 miles of folks' homes. That they don't even know these state parks exist. We have data to show that Black folks in America do have money. Our GDP is $1.9 trillion. We have tons of dollars. We just don't spend our money in the outdoor industry. And there are reasons why we don't spend our money there. And the third reason is because when you're not invited and welcomed in a place, meaning, and when I say invited and welcome, folks thinking I'm saying that you have to go out and tap Black folks or any underrepresented folks on the shoulder and say, hey, you should go into the outdoors. What I'm saying is that if you're not asking folks for their money, you're not invited and welcome into any space. That's just how we gauge it all, right? And so here's the thing that I always tell folks, and this is a statement that we've said in our company with our staff, is that people of color, underrepresented folks, non-traditional folks, and not just Black folks, Asian folks, Latino folks, Hispanic folks, Indian folks, Native American folks who are not the majority to the outdoor industry, who are white folks. What I try to tell folks is that not rocket science, right? This is not rocket science. You have a demographic that is fading in the outdoor industry. And if you don't close that gap, no matter what industry you're in, you're probably not headed for growth. And you're probably headed for, I would say, catastrophic failure, to be frank with you.
You had mentioned earlier that there are some generational messages that Black people especially have received over the years that the outdoor industry may not be aware of. What are some of those messages that you've heard that keep people out from enjoying the outdoors?
It's not what I heard, it's what I know based on me being a Black male in the South, or not only just in the South, but particularly Black folks. We had generational fears where we've been told not to go in the woods, right? We've been told not to go in the woods because the woods is probably one of the most heinous places in the world to be for Black folks, particularly as children. So what happens is when you have generational fear, your great-grandmother tell your grandmother, tell your mother, tell you don't belong in the woods because some of the most heinous things in the world will happen to you in those woods. That's what they lived as children. So they pass that down to their children and their grandchildren. The second thing is we don't have any knowledge of those things. You don't know what trailheads are. You don't know what conservancies and land trusts. You don't know that there are degrees out there college degrees out there that you can actually earn to help thrust you into the outdoor industry and outdoor lifestyle. And colleges are not necessarily helping you understand that because they just assume that you don't know about it. Then there is a disconnect. Well, there's the inviting and welcoming piece, right? The inviting and welcoming piece is probably the most important thing because you can be invited somewhere to enjoy the outdoors. But when folks who invite you don't know the reason why you haven't come, what happens is that the experience is bad, right? Folks don't understand that telling ghost stories around a campfire to folks of color particularly may not be the greatest thing to do. Or folks that are invite you and to welcome you to go camping in spaces, particularly in tents and things of that nature, where you've never done these things before, and your parents have not introduced you to these things, is not as easy as people think. And people will say, that's just with any race. I truly believe that. But I will tell you this, there's not a race in America. There's not one race in America other than Black folks that had laws to keep them out of the outdoors. And this is why it has been so important for our company to talk about unity in the outdoor community and beyond, because we want to connect every race, every gender, every ability, every age to the outdoors. We don't care what your race is. We want you around that campfire, which we call the Unity Blaze, which is in our logo. It's in our logo. It's the Unity Blaze.
Who invited you into the outdoors that really got you?
It's funny because, listen, I've been an executive for 30 years, all right, for over 30 years. And I actually cut my teeth in the outdoor industry when I was 40 years old, almost 9 years ago. I became one of the only Black executives in the RV industry, which is a $114 billion industry. And I enjoyed my time in that industry because my job was to come and help grow a business in that industry. And I did. And we grew it from $850,000 to almost $20 million in 4 years. And that was my MO, getting in there, understanding the problem and solving the issue of that particular company. I left the outdoor industry. I left that RV company with a mindset that I wanted to help change the RV industry and change the outdoor industry as a whole to help the industry grow using the same strategies that we use at that particular company. And at that time is when I was introduced really to the outdoor industry. I tell folks I was a Gucci, Louis Vuitton sports car driving executive. I knew nothing about the outdoors. Zero. I didn't know anything. I didn't know about backpacking, RVing, any type camping. I didn't do any of that, right? However, though, when I introduced our company on the stage of the Outdoor Economy Conference in 2019, there were two white gentlemen that came up to me, the same two white gentlemen who invited me to speak at this conference, when they heard the story and why I hadn't been in the outdoors. And I told them the very way to actually invite and welcome folks to the outdoors is to just meet them, befriend them, and ask them. These two gentlemen have been in my life for the last 7 years, and they've taught me how to enjoy the outdoors, how to backpack, how to car camp, how to do all things in the outdoors. And I learned it from two gentlemen who were very passionate about the Appalachian Trail. They took me on the trail, and they taught me these things. They taught me everything I needed to know I can take other people, which is the very essence of what we call the Unity Blaze way. We believe if you teach folks how to enjoy the outdoors, particularly if they don't know, and then help them do this. You don't have to always buy people equipment. You don't have to always make people feel inadequate because they don't have these things, because they didn't do that to me. What they did, they invited and welcomed me sincerely. They did it with some meaning. They measured the approach, and it has been sustainable in my life.
That's a great story. Has there been a moment when you've been taking people in the outdoors that really confirmed that you were on the right track with this mission?
Absolutely. What we found is that we took folks out in the outdoors. We took thousands of folks out in the outdoors as a company. And I looked at that scenario, and I go back and look at it. We took the folks out. We took them backpacking, RVing. We did everything in the outdoors except rock climbing. We took folks to cabins, yurts, and things of that nature. We did it to understand exactly why these folks of different financial backgrounds, whether they're the good times folks or the Huxtables, we took them out. No matter if they were low income or high income, we took them out to understand why they weren't going in the outdoors. And once we understood why they weren't going in the outdoors, which matched up with what I said earlier in regards to generational fear, lack of knowledge, and lack of invitation, it was easier for us to create programs and strategies for different companies and organizations to start to invite and welcome folks in a way that they actually stuck. One of the greatest things for me is that as a company is that we gave away hundreds of tents and we rented RVs for folks. We did all these things for folks. And in turn, a lot of those folks didn't come back to the outdoors, even after us giving them all these things. However, though, when we time with folks and we did it often, not just one time, but we did it 2, 3, 4, 5 times with a particular family or a particular person, we found that those folks were easier and much more excited about going out on their own the next time. And so we believe that doing that strategy is where we came up with the Unity Blaze way, because we can't take people out all the time, every day, all day. However, though, if you were my friend, Greg, and I wanted to see you out in the outdoors to do what I love to do, and you and I were friends, we can actually do this a lot. We can do it often. We can do it every day if we wanted to. However, though, as a group and as a club, it's hard to do that, right? But when you make it personal and you find friends and you find a person who loves the outdoors just as much as you do, or may love the outdoors more than you do, that's when the connection happens.
You made a very valid point. You can give a family a tent and it's a great gift, but if they've never set up a tent and they don't know how to set it up, and they don't know that you don't put the opening on the upslope so that the water drains in, they're not going to have a great experience.
That education of equipment education is another story. Before you give somebody some equipment, you may want to learn why they never purchased that equipment in the first place. They purchased everything else in their life. The question should have been, why haven't this person purchased a tent? Why haven't they been on an RV lot? Why haven't they gone into an outdoor retailer? Why haven't they ever bought hiking boots? Why haven't they bought hiking poles? Why haven't these folks really explored the things that you love or I love? Because the outdoors, again, is nonpartisan. It didn't have anything to do with any political bounds on it, any religion bounds on it. The outdoors is for everyone. It is for everyone. It's a place for peace. It's a place for reflection. It's a place for all of us to really come together and love on it. But more than that, though, it's a place that we should be loving and taking care of as well.
You had spoken about the campfires and your love for that and how the Unity Blaze is incorporated into your logo. What does being around a campfire do when it comes to storytelling, a feeling of safety, and connecting with other individuals?
First of all, the campfire, for me, no matter if I'm around the campfire by myself, the campfire is the oldest form of light, heat, gathering, and cooking. Before we had all these amenities, we had the campfire. The sad part about it is what we found in a lot of the data that we actually contrived, or when we took folks out, many of the folks that we took out didn't even know how to actually make a campfire. Didn't know that campfires can be made in different areas, or how to put out a campfire and things of that nature, which is something that we've really harped on as a company to make sure when we take folks out or when we go out with folks. Although I like starting my own campfires, I like to get input from everyone else around to see if they know how to actually start a campfire. And when they don't, I like to gather everybody around to show them you can start campfires in so many different ways. The most important thing about the campfire is keeping it actually lit and making sure that the fire is amazing. In regards to safety of a campfire, again, it's the oldest form of light, heat, gathering, and cooking. The campfire, once it's lit, you can do so many things with it in regards to your survival. But in regards to safety, there's many folks that we took out, when we took folks out to get data, the folks didn't necessarily feel safe around the campfire as much as they felt safe around the people who were around the campfire, knowing that they weren't out there to harm them, know that they weren't there to make them feel any type of way. Because at the end of the day, the campfire has no walls. It has no walls. So you're having conversations around campfires that you would never have around a kitchen date.
Why is it that people are so willing to open up at a campfire?
Mainly because you're vulnerable, particularly around the campfire. You're vulnerable, particularly when you're backpacking and when you're out. You're very vulnerable to have these conversations whether it may be out of fear or maybe it may be out of togetherness and comfort. I think the other thing is, though, the campfire, a fires itself, it's just something about building that fire and allowing it to grow and grow, and knowing that if somebody may not be around the fire, all you have to do is add a log to it or something to keep it going. So sometimes just getting it started for someone and then allowing them to maintain it is what keeps it going. Listen, that also goes on with life. Being able to educate someone, being able to educate them about life, and them carry on and taking those life perspectives and moving on to use that to take care of their families and all those things. I view that as putting a log on the campfire.
Are there any memorable experiences that you can recall personally from being around a campfire?
I do. As a matter of fact, my greatest experience being around the campfire is with my family. We had some amazing times, but again, I would not have known how to even create a campfire hadn't been for the two gentlemen, West and Andy. Their trail names are Payday and Wrong Way. And my trail name is an amazing trail name because the guys tell me that no one can necessarily understand it, but they like it. I'm the icebreaker. Like, I break the ice when I'm on the trail, right? I talk to everyone. When I was out with them, my first time out with them, they pulled out a device, which is a bellow, and it looked like an antenna. And they used it to actually blow through it to fan the fire or to give the fire more oxygen so that you wouldn't have to put your head down to actually blow the fire to burn your hair or burn your hat. That experience itself, it taught me that I can actually make sure the fire is going without harming myself. In the conversations around the campfire, we talked about everything. Right?
You said that the biggest challenge for the industry is making people feel invited in the outdoors. What are some things that work campers and RVers need to understand about ways they can help people feel more welcome in campgrounds? And
one of the greatest things that I always say is education is the key, which is the reason why we have an academy here at our company, the Unity Folks. We have an academy on our website, and that academy, it has a professional course, it has a state and national park course, we have a college and university course, and those courses, which is a course, it will, taking that course, that one particular course, will tell you about who we are as a company. It'll also share with you how to invite and welcome folks based on you learning the what, when, and why. Once you learn the why, you then learn the what, when, where, and how. But the most important thing is the word that I always use with folks is empathy. You have to have empathy when you're dealing with anyone. It doesn't matter their race, age, gender, ability when they're out in the outdoors. You have to have empathy with folks who may not understand or know about the outdoors. But not only that, though, when folks are coming in to work and to work in these spaces, it's very important that folks not only have empathy, but be delightful. We all have our issues. We all are going through things. But when it comes to working and being in this space and campgrounds and different spaces, understanding who you're dealing with requires you to get to know who they are. And once you get to know who people are, after you learn why maybe they haven't really been in the outdoors as long as you have, then that particular time will give you some bonding time to understand that people are different. And everybody's not going to have the same ideas as you are. Everybody's not going to think like you are, but having some compassion and some empathy to know that you still can go to work and you still can actually make things happen having differences. But you probably have more sames than differences. So concentrate on the sames rather than the difference.
Exactly. Work campers themselves come from a variety of backgrounds, and they're rather very diverse in who they are. What can they do to help create a more unifying outdoor experience whenever they're working?
Yeah, one of the things I always tell folks, keep your personal opinions to yourself. Keep your personal opinions to yourself until that the person that you're speaking to really wants to hear your personal opinion.
Good.
But that's in any job, any space. And I tell our staff that all the time. You're like, listen, we're here to work and we have a job to do. And we want to have, after hour, have our personal opinions, do that. But make sure that the person you're having a conversation with is actually even rocking with you to even want to hear your personal opinions, because everybody don't. Right? The second thing is that when you're dealing with the public or you're dealing with folks you don't know, it is easy to get more bees with honey than anything. So treating people with respect, treating people and not assuming anything. We all were raised differently. We all were reared differently, but we weren't reared to have respect for one another. You probably need to learn that before you be a part of this Workamper space. You probably need to, if you hadn't learned that by now, you need to learn that the biggest way to turn someone off is to disrespect them. And if you do get into a situation where you do disrespect someone or someone feels that way, the greatest way to fix that is just to apologize to someone.
Yep.
And using that apology and using that time to really be understanding. I wouldn't be overly apologetic for things, because simply it's just, I apologize and now I know what not to do.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why campground etiquette is so for people
So
who've been
important.
doing it for years, to educate people who are brand new to the lifestyle. We don't run our generators at 11 o'clock at night because it wakes everybody up in the camp.
Right. Unless it's an emergency, or being able to explain to folks, hey, listen, quiet hours at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Here's the reason why we have quiet hour.
Right.
Listen, being able to explain to folks that these folks that came to the campground, they paid for these spots. These are just basically their hands for as long as they pay for them. Try not to make sure that you don't walk through these spaces and invade their space. And again, it's on the campgrounds to make sure that the visitors understand the rules of the campground and not assume that people know, and not assume that folks know what to do. Go ahead and tell everybody what the rules are, and then you may have to explain it 2 or 3 times to folks. Because again, there are a lot of folks, particularly folks who are camping these days, have never camped before.
Right.
They've never been in the outdoors. They don't know these things, right? And again, that goes across the board. It doesn't matter your race, your age, or your gender. They simply may not know.
That's right. And that's why work campers will make good ambassadors for helping to educate people, because they are
Absolutely
living the
Absolutely.
lifestyle
Matter of fact,
themselves. Yep.
Work campers are the most important to me in regards to educating folks. Their attitudes will actually dictate sometimes the attitudes of the campers. And if their attitudes are, we don't want you here, or you should leave, or you're not welcome here, or not invited here, folks are going to feel that way, and that word is going to travel. And once that word travels, that you're not invited and you're not welcome, then folks won't come, and sooner or later, that particular property or where it is won't be around long.
I agree wholeheartedly. What does it mean for a campground or some outdoor organization or business to become Unity Blaze certified?
I thought you'd never ask, Greg. Unity Blaze certification is very simple. Sometimes it's not easy for a lot of folks, but it's very simple. We have an academy at theunityfolks.com. We have an academy on our website. You go to that academy, you take our courses about 45 minutes long and understand that course. Your folks on your campground, 80% of the workers, particularly the folks up front, the folks that are actually interacting with people, go through our course. Again, it's about 45 minutes long. Once you go through that course and learn when we say invite and welcome folks, you now are able to be branded with our Unity Blaze symbol. And that symbol, we have an amazing map that tells folks that your campground, your retail space, your RV spot, your place is invited and welcoming. We have a lot of campgrounds, a lot of people that say we're already invited and welcoming. We don't have to go through these things. If you are already inviting and welcoming, you probably wouldn't have a problem with going through these courses then, if that is how you stand. But anybody or anyone or any organization who doesn't want to have continuous learning and doesn't want to educate themselves on how to invite and welcome more folks in this space, knowing that we are working hard to invite and welcome non-traditional folks or emerging demographics, because that's the way the world is trending, those particular individuals probably are not wanting to grow. Because at the end of the day, this is not a kumbaya. We call this an ROI, and we call that return on invitation. We call it ROI plus, return on invitation plus unity equals participation and revenue. And that also, in terms of campgrounds in the industry, it also means that you're inviting and welcoming more workforce to want to work at your campgrounds, because we want to invite and welcome everyone to be in campgrounds to make sure that they align with the consumers that are actually will now be coming to campgrounds and things of that nature. And to become Unity Blaze certified is very simple, but it's not always easy, because a lot of folks don't want to put the work in, don't want to put 45 minutes in to learn. But once you learn and you become Unity Blaze certified, we have all type of tiers. We have tiers where we create a sales and marketing strategy to help you invite and welcome everyone. Campgrounds that are not doing well, we find ways to help drive that local business to you, or drive that outside business, or whatever it may be, drive workforce to you. All those things happen when we become Unity Blaze certified. We have 30,000 photos that you need maybe on social media. We're able to provide those things for you.
Very good. I think it's a valuable resource that our industry needs to take advantage of. What would you say to park owners and businesses who may want diversity but don't know where to start in developing it for their firms?
We say email us at info@theunityfolks.com.
Okay.
info@theunityfolks.com. And we will share with you in ways to do this. We want to walk with people. Listen, we're not here. We don't call people out. We call folks in.
Absolutely.
We don't twist folks' arms. We twist hearts. And we know that our industry struggles with inviting and welcoming different demographics. We know that's why the company was started, to help the industry actually do better and how to and do what they said they wanted to do. The industry says that we want to invite and welcome folks. We're here to help. We're not here to force folks to do anything. We're not on any agenda other than the agenda of what you want to do. If you say that your campground doesn't want to be inviting and welcoming, if you say your campground don't want to invite and welcome folks, if you say that you don't want to invite and welcome new workforce, if you don't want new consumers, if you don't want to learn to how to do that, don't contact us.
When we were talking the other day before we did the podcast, you had told me that your organization doesn't accept any donations, and it's counterproductive for a business to just give money to organizations and expect that they've made a role in or played a role in increasing diversity. So what can manufacturers and retailers and campgrounds do to be part of this shift culturally toward unity?
I think one of the things is, and what we said was, as a company, we've never accepted a donation, and we've never written a grant to actually invite and actually to create more diversity in the outdoors. Because what we figure is we want to count on those companies who want to truly make an investment. This is not just for us to go do. This is an investment that we need to get all buy-in from companies from the top to the bottom, to folks to understand that this is not a game. This is not something that should be played with. This is something that should be very strategically done. And if you're wanting to really change, you should count on a company that majors in this, a company that actually thrives in this, that has data, that has strategic, not only just data, but we have a plan, have a strategy to do this, right? We, as a company, we spent millions of dollars on data and processes so that we can actually create activations to drive this. A lot of our state park partners, particularly the state park where you are in Arizona, Greg, Arizona State Parks is one of our biggest partners. And if you go and drive to any Arizona State Park, you're going to see that amazing Unity Blaze flag flying, because Arizona State Park made a decision. And their decision is, we wanted to call on and count on a company that is majors in inviting and welcoming folks. And their job is not only to listen and go through our courses and things of that nature, but their job is also to activate, to get in the boat and start rowing from the inside out. And so we tell companies, if this is what you truly want to do, we say, try us out, understand what we're doing, and know that this is an ongoing strategy that is going to make our industry so much better. And if you are wanting to drive the business, if you're wanting to drive diversity in your spaces, no matter who you are, you will enjoy working with us.
Very good. That's excellent. What legacy do you hope to leave with the outdoor hospitality industry, or the outdoor industry, period, with this group?
Our company is very profound, very profound. We're an amazing company. Not only we have so many different brands, we have Asian folks camp too. We have Black folks camp too. We have church folks camp too. We have Hispanic folks camp too. Latino folks camp too. We have Native folks camp too. We have mixed folks camp too. We have white folks camp too, and all folks camp too. Military folks camp too. Rainbow folks camp too. We want everyone to go out in the outdoors. Those are our brands. And they all, if you go to our website, you will see them around our Unity Blaze, because we want everyone to know that they're invited and welcome. And so the legacy that I want to leave, not only for our company and our staff, is that we were on the front lines of inviting and welcoming everyone, very sincerely, very meaningful, measured, and sustainable. At the end of the day, my children, when I'm no longer here in this earth, I hope my children look back and tell their children, so that you can tell your children as well, that there's a company out there devoted and primed and excited, and they put everything on the line to make sure that everyone enjoyed the outdoors, and they just didn't talk that talk, they walked that walk. And hopefully all the folks under the sound of this podcast can hear me speaking. Hopefully you want to be involved in that too. Hopefully you want to say that to your children as well, that you were a part of inviting and welcoming everyone into the outdoors. And if you don't partner with us, hopefully you'll partner with someone that can actually help you say that as well. Because the alternative is that you do nothing and the industry does not grow. And in all the work that you have done to make sure that the industry is amazing, it all goes by the wayside. And you typically be maybe like a company like the Kodaks of the world, or the companies like the buffet companies like Shoney's of the world, the companies that are no longer around that were really great companies, but did not have a sustainable plan.
That's a very good point. I've said for years that campgrounds are the last bastion of true community left in America, because there are no borders, there are no walls. Everybody's out there together talking to each other over campfires or just walking around. What can listeners do today on their next campground visit or their hike or RV trip to help build a more unified outdoor community?
Well, the truth of the matter is, we believe that before the outdoor industry can grow, we believe it starts at campground. We don't believe it starts at the RV side of the business or the OEM side of the business. We don't believe it starts at the retail side of the business. We believe it starts at campgrounds. It starts at campgrounds. It starts at hiking trails. It starts at the places where folks that folks can come to, and there is a community. We believe the community has to be invited and welcoming. We believe the community at campgrounds have to want to invite and welcome folks in a way that, again, is very sincere, very meaningful, very measurable, and very sustainable. And so when folks come to campgrounds, you may not like the food that the camper is cooking next door. You might not like the music that the folks are listening to. You might not like the camper that you see them in. You might not like anything about whatever they're doing. However, though, you know that you all are there for the same reasons. You're to camp, you're there to RV, you're there to yurt, you're there to cabin camp, you're there to car camp. You're there to do whatever you need to do in regards to your family. And also you're there, hopefully, to have some peace and have some fun.
That's exactly right. Where can work campers or business owners get more information to become part of your movement?
Of course, folks can go to theunityfolks.com, 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 or simply just email us at info@theunityfolks.com. I promise you, and folks will tell you this, our Unity Blaze partners who partner with us, and the ones that actually participate in our webinars, we have a webinar every quarter, and they're getting tips to understand how to invite and welcome folks. It's probably one of the greatest partnerships they've ever had, because who wouldn't want to be a part of a company that's promoting unity in the outdoor community and beyond? Exactly. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of something like that. That's just, in particular, when we're inviting everyone, no matter your race, your age, gender, ability. And if you don't want to be a part of that, probably maybe because you don't want to invite and welcome everyone into the outdoors. And that's not an issue with us. It's not like we're wanting to make people feel sad about that or bad about that. We just want the folks who do want to invite and welcome folks. Just want you to be a part of us. We would like to be a part of you. So come on with us. Info at theunityfolks.com.
Like they say, it's easier to run with one than to drag six.
There you go, bro.
There you go.
Let's go.
Are you active on social media at all?
We are. We have every social media, Twitter. We have the Unity Folks. You have Instagram, Facebook, all that. We're very active on social media. We post sometimes 2-3 times a day. We're talking about the goodness that we're doing. We have some amazing partners, amazing OEM partners. I like to shout out Hobo's Footwear. If anybody in the sound of my voice, if you are looking for some amazing hiking boots or insoles, we have an amazing partnership with Oboe that we've utilized, where Oboe became our partners so we can help educate colleges and universities and other folks about unity in the outdoor community and beyond. Oboes, OBOZ, located in Montana, in Bozeman, Montana, and they're in basically every outdoor retail store in America.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time today, Earl. I really appreciate it. I love the mission, and I wish you the best of luck in 2026 and beyond.
Hey, Greg, I hope you have the greatest day of your life today, and I hope tomorrow is better, and I hope all the listeners underneath the sound of my voice have an amazing day too.
My conversation with Earl B. Hunter Jr., the founder of the Unity Folks, really reinforces how powerful campgrounds can be as places of connection, learning, and shared experiences. Earl made it clear that inviting people into the outdoors is not about checking boxes or making symbolic gestures. Rather, it is about understanding why some people have not felt welcome and taking the time to educate and listen, then creating environments where respect and empathy come first. For Workampers, that means recognizing the influence you can have on guests who may be camping or RVing for the very first time. Simple things like explaining campground etiquette, answering questions without judgment, and modeling kindness that can make a lasting difference. Earl also shared how the Unity Folks works with campgrounds and outdoor businesses to provide training and Unity Blaze certification to help them create more welcoming spaces for visitors and workers alike. If you would like to learn more about Earl's company or explore how your campground or business can get involved, visit www.theunityfolks.com or email info@theunityfolks.com. You can also find the Unity Folks on all major social media platforms. Today's episode was sponsored by Workamper News. Much more than just a job listing website, when you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. A Workamper membership opens the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then membership is for you. Join today at www.workamper.com. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. That's all for this week's show. On behalf of all of us at the Workamper organization, we wish you a happy and memorable Christmas holiday. We have a special episode planned for next week to explain some important changes and updates to the new Workamper website. It will help you make 2026 your best year ever for work camping. Thanks for listening and Merry Christmas.